We welcome you to U.S. Cellular Field. That's the home of the Chicago White Sox. The first half of the season is in the books, and the Houston Astros will begin the second half right here in Chicago. Julie Morales joining you from the field. Alan Ashby, Jeff Blum will be with you in just a few minutes. We've seen highs and lows with these Houston Astros this year, going 40 and 56 in that first half. The most wins before the All-Star break since 2009 for Houston, but they're looking to improve on that. Here in this second half, we've seen them struggle. We've seen a lot of new faces, but we've also seen a great storyline in HOU AT CHA, one of the familiar faces who's coming off his second All-Star game in just 3 seasons. He's done things that no other Major League player's done before, like 130 hits, 41 steals before the break, 130 leads the majors. He's on pace for more than 200 on the season. Good to see him in that second All-Star game. He's been a spark to the offense. And when the offense was going good for the Astros, it usually would mean George Springer had something to do with it. The right fielder called up back in April and provided a spark on and off the field. A lot of energy with this guy. He was named Rookie of the Month back in May, helped lead the Astros to a 15-14 record that month. Hit his first dinger on May 8th and hit 18 more. He's got 19. Another big bat was added. John Singleton joined the club. It was later in May, and he slugged a home run in his first big league game, but we've seen him struggle like Springer, both trying to adjust the way the game is played here at the big league level. But a lot to be excited about. This club is excited to get back. They're excited to see each other. They had a workout yesterday. That was optional, but Bo Porter was really, really happy with the amount of players that showed up for that. They are mentally ready to go. Like I said, a lot to be excited about, a lot of storylines to watch for. 66 games remaining for this season. And for more on what to expect, the boys in the booth will join us. Time to look ahead. Alan Ashby, Jeff Blum will be back right after this.
You 66. The Astros finished up the first half by winning 4 of 6 and now try to keep the winning ways going here from Chicago's U.S. Cell as they begin the second half with the White Sox. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. 66 games to go. The first 96 very intriguing. Jose Altuve, one of the great storylines. There was Dallas Keuchel and Jared Cozart in the starting staff. And George Springer, a story unto himself. Some very good storylines. What do you see, Blummer, for some of the storylines of the second half?
Well, I see a lot of good young talent. What we got to see them do is finish off the season the way they started. They put up electric numbers. Jose Altuve, one of those guys that got off to a record-setting pace going into that All-Star break, represented himself well in that All-Star game, getting the sacrifice fly. He's earned every bit of respect that he's gotten around the league. Going into that All-Star break, leads the major leagues with 130 hits, 41 stolen bases, leads the American League. But Jared Cozart and Dallas Keuchel are the two guys in that starting rotation that probably intrigued me the most to see how they finish off that season. We saw Jared Cozart getting shut down last year to save his arm for this season, doing a great job to this point in the season. Dallas Keuchel had what could have been an all-star season if he had gotten enough votes. But I'm curious to see how these guys go into the month of September, pitching some extended innings, which they haven't done before.
Coming up, rise to power. The season's last 2 months are also a chance for George Springer to see how he measures up against some of the game's best young sluggers. And Jose Abreu has been at the top of the power charts. We'll break down the rookies as we get set for lineups and the first pitch next. Houston Astros baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is presented by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by AT&T Uverse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world.
Tonight, the Astros begin to take measure of how far they've come as a team and who will be crowned the best rookie slugger in baseball.
Jose has now driven in 41.
George Springer, what a monster!
In a much improved first half of the season, how will the second half play out? The answers start coming tonight in Chicago.
U.S. Cellular Field here in Chicago. It's a gorgeous day, and it's predicted forecast to be very nice weather here throughout the three-game series. The Astros coming in and trying to pick it up here in the second half. And now our starting lineup for the Houston Astros, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jose Altuve in the top spot, followed by Jason Castro and George Springer. In the heart of the order, Chris Carter, he's the DH. Matt Dominguez at third. At first, it's John Singleton. And the bottom three in the order, Robbie Grossman, Kike Hernandez, and L.J. Hoes.
On the mound for the Chicago White Sox, Jose Quintana, young left-hander out of Colombia, making his 20th start, doing a great job in his last 5 starts. See the record on the season, 5-7, 3.24 ERA. Those numbers getting better because he's got a fantastic breaking ball to go with the fastball at about 90, 92 miles an hour.
Quintana has gone at least 7 innings in each of his last 5 starts that Blummer mentioned. The one before that, 6 innings. So he's accustomed to going deep for the White Sox, and his first pitch called a strike just off of that outside black. Just a light breeze blowing. Ideal night for a ball game here in Chicago. And that's well spotted. 0-2 on Jose Altuve. Chicago White Sox are 45-51. They're 10.5 games back of Central leading Detroit. Tigers with a 6.5 game lead over second place Kansas City. And in the West, the Astros in 4th place. They're a game and a half in front of the Texas Rangers now. Oakland leading the division just a game and a half over the hot LA Angels of Anaheim. 1-2 the count. Bo Porter and the gang had a workout yesterday. And as you heard, Bo was quite pleased at the number of guys that showed up for the workout. Not mandatory. That ground ball is foul and a broken bat for Altuve. That boy alert and ready to go. He brings out a new piece of lumber. Quintana 7 innings his last start. 3 earnings against him in that game. Just 2 hits though, while striking out 7. His previous 2 starts to that one, both shutout efforts. 7 innings at Toronto on the 29th of June, and then on July 5th against Seattle right here in Chicago. 7 2/3 innings of shutout ball, and only 7 hits allowed over those 2 starts. So he has been dynamite. You factor in the 2 hits allowed last time out, that at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. You can see that life has not been kind on the hitters when Quintana has been on the hill. 9 hits over 21 2/3 innings in the last 3 starts. Altuve working on his second bat. And got a piece, fouls it at the plate. Count stays at 1-2. The umpires for tonight's game behind the plate, it's Dan Bellino. Brian O'Nora at first base. At second, it's Jeff Kellogg. And DJ Rayburn is down at third. Kellogg is the crew chief. Altuve, Castro, and Springer here in the first inning. Got him swinging. Those fastballs out toward the outside edge. A couple of those called strikes, and then that one, probably none of the 3 caught the wide of the plate.
Here at U.S. Cellular Field, you're going to look at Alejandro De Aza in left field, Adam Eaton in center field, Dion Viciedo in right field, Connor Gillespie at third base, Alexi Ramirez at short, Gordon Beckham at second, Jose Abreu at first, and Tyler Flowers working with Quintana this evening.
So Jason Castro will bat in that 2 spot tonight. And he has been good in the 2-hole for the club. Lefty versus lefty, 1 out here in the first. Castro offers on the first fastball, hits it down the left field side, and a long run by the left fielder De Aza. He comes up just shy. Jason Castro hitting .400, 10 for 25 in his 6 starts in that 2 spot. He was put in the 2 spot on July 3rd. He's had 2 doubles in that span, a triple and a home run, 4 RBI, so he's been very good for the club.
It's been a good spot to hit for the Houston Astros. Altuve started going off when he moved into that 2-hole with Dexter Fowler leading off when he was healthy. Now Castro getting his chance.
The Astros have taken 2 out of the 3 games played between the 2 clubs this year. Fly ball to right, starting back, Viciedo. He comes on to make the play. 2 up, 2 down in the first inning. Here's Robin Ventura. Well, he was a great defensive player. One of the only problems he ran into in his career came in the form of Nolan Ryan. And that's one of those moments that I'm sure Robin Ventura would like to have cease playing around Major League Baseball. George Springer at the plate. It's a breaking ball for the first pitch, hitting .233, 19 bombs on the year, and an even 50 RBIs to lead the club. That leadership in home runs on the club shared with Chris Carter. 2-0 the count. That fastball just under the knees. George Springer showing so much in the first half, and he's shown a lot to the White Sox. As you can see, Quintana working around him, trying to get him to offer, and that'll be one of the big points in the career of George Springer, when he figures out how to lay off of pitches out of the strike zone and not swing through quite so many fastballs right through the heart of the plate. 3-0 pitch. That's at the knees.
Yeah, for me, you know what? I actually think that he's got pretty good plate discipline, but I'm with you. Some of those pitches in the zone, some of the hanging breaking balls we've seen him have the opportunity to hit, he's just missed.
And there's one right there. That fastball at 92 just blown by.
Well, and that's in a hitter's count, too. A 3-1 count. You expect the fastball. Quintana offers one up for him.
You couldn't have a better location on which to air it out and try to hit one hard right there, especially, as you say, on the 3-1 pitch. That fastball just away. Springer gets away with it, draws the 2-out walk. It brings up Chris Carter.
Pretty good eye, and you don't see too many youngsters with the pop that George Springer has to be able to lay off that and take the walk. More often than not in the 3-2 count, guys get aggressive, want to go after that fastball.
George Springer has already set the franchise rookie records for home runs, the 19 and 50 RBIs leading up to the All-Star break. And now that speed at first base. Springer has started to open up that running game a bit. He has 5 bags in 7 tries.
I was a little concerned to see him miss that game before the All-Star break with that knee injury popping back up. As we heard early on, the reason why he wasn't running was because of that knee, or running as much as we had anticipated.
Kind of a quiet response in terms of the lack of running game for George. Quintana spotting it very well on the outside corner. You can see with his command of the strike zone why he has been so tough. Chris Carter hitting .205. May not sound like much, but that's a long cry from where he was well down in the 100s. 19 bombs, 40 RBIs. And right at the bottom of the knees. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, Chris Carter hitting .205 at this point. It's got to feel like hitting .305 for him, considering how low that batting average was for so long. And also a credit to how hot he's been lately, too. He's got himself a 9-game hitting streak going.
He's got 3 multiple home run games, and 2 of those coming in his last, let's see, 5 games for the club. Had 2 on July 11th against the Red Sox, and 2 on July 8th at Texas against the Rangers. He's hit a pair of grand slams. The Astros with 3 slams on the year, the other picked up by John Singleton. So Carter, with the 40 RBIs and the 19 bombs, is starting to produce some offense.
It's only 1 more than Madison Bumgarner has this year.
Yeah, I said 3 multi-homer games. Excuse me, it's 4 for Chris. Stays alive. The count at 2-2. Had his first multi-homer game back in April. That was the 26th. Right in Houston against the Oakland A's. He even had a 4 RBI game in the month of July. That came against the Angels. Jose Quintana not wanting to let that running game for Springer happen. Quintana has allowed just 3 stolen bases in 5 tries on the season. Carter just reaches out, spoils as he fouls it on the first base side. When you see just 5 stolen bases against a guy in almost 120 innings, you know he's doing something to keep the runners at the bag.
Yeah, he's pitching left-handed.
That starts things, no doubt. Yeah.
It's a huge help, being able to keep his eye on that runner at first base.
Originally drafted by the Mets. Again, Carter stays alive. That was back in 2006. He's now signed with the White Sox through 2020. And he's going to make himself some money in that span. Once again, the 2-2. And that'll fill it. That'll put George Springer in motion from first. 2 down, just the first inning. And of course, Matt Dominguez waiting on deck. Quintana set. And a ground ball foul, and handled nicely by Pat Listash. That glove hand, he still got it. Just what to do with the sunflower seeds. Listash opted not to waste them, I think. Having some fun with the guys. Again, 3-2. Again, Springer goes. There's a little looper down the first base side. It'll drop foul. Springer all the way around to third base. He'll cross the diamond and head back. A little bit of a laugh with Pat Listash. What a talent George Springer is, and what a story he's been in the first half. Of course, the White Sox, and you look at first base, you got the 2 guys combined there, George Springer and Jose Abreu. They have been brilliant as rookies. 3-2 again. Breaking ball got him. So Carter eventually succumbs to the strikeout. Second strikeout for Quintana. He leaves a man on the walk. We're scoreless after a half. Between the Astros and the White Sox. And now for the Chicago White Sox, that lineup: center fielder Adam Eaton, it's the shortstop Alexei Ramirez to follow, and Jose Abreu, the great rookie and leader in the major leagues in home runs. He's at first base. Middle 3, Houston's own Adam Dunn. In right field, Dion Viciedo, and Connor Gillespie's at third. And the bottom 3 at second, Gordon Beckham, Alejandro De Aza in left field, and doing the catching, Tyler Flowers.
For the Houston Astros, it's going to be tall right-hander Scott Feldman. Last outing against Boston before that break, went 5 1/3, giving up 7 earned runs. That game snapped a 3-game stretch for him where he had quality starts in 3 consecutive starts. Looking to correct that and continue on his quality start ways.
Showing bunt, taking low on that first offering is Eaton. Adam Eaton has taken over the center field duties for these White Sox, hitting .270. Not a big guy. Reported to be a nice aggressive center fielder, likes to throw. And he has swung the bat well. Doesn't have great power. 1 home run on his season while driving in 25. Blummer mentioned those 3 quality starts for Scott Feldman. That dates back to the Atlanta Braves series in Houston, June 24th, 6 innings of 3-run ball. He followed that with June 29th against the Tigers, also in Houston, 6 innings of 2-run ball, 7 hits in that one. And then he pitched well against the Red Hot Angels. That on July 5th, allowed just 2 earnings over 6. Fly ball right center field, a huge gap in right center. So this one will land and go to the wall. Eaton at second base. He'll head for third, and he's got himself a leadoff triple for the White Sox.
That's that outfield shift the Houston Astros have been implementing all year long, where the center fielder will move into that left center field gap with a left-handed hitter up. Therefore, a fly ball to straightaway, just shy of straightaway, will land easily. You can see a long run for both outfielders trying to connect on this and try and keep Adam Eaton from getting all the way to third. But Adam Eaton, a good base runner, can fly on top of it, gets into third base easily.
So when you shift, it leaves some large gaps and extra bases follow. That'll bring up the 2-hitter, Alexi Ramirez. Infield drawn in on the corners, playing all the way back at short and second. And that leadoff slider misses low. For Adam Eaton, that's his 7th 3-bagger on the season to go with 15 doubles and a home run. That's a tough way to get started if you're Josh Feldman. Scott Feldman, rather.
You saw George Springer and Robbie Grossman chasing down that ball in the gap. So Robbie's in right field tonight. George Springer in center. L.J. Ho's in left around the infield. You're going to see Matt Dominguez at third base. Kike Hernandez at short. Jose Altuve, the all-star, at second base. John Singleton at first. And Castro, the Astro, working behind home plate with Scott Feldman.
Alexi Ramirez, one of the members of the all-star squad this year. Got his batting average up to .282, 8 bombs on the year. This is a guy with 6 major league grand slams. Puts it in the air, right center field. Shallow, coming on to make the play is Grossman, tagging at third, and coming to the plate is Eaton. The throw on a hop, and they got him. Jason Castro able to apply the tag, and now Robin Ventura, skipper for the White Sox, is going to come out and talk this over and see if it would be prudent to challenge the play.
Interesting to see. It seems to be the standard now in Major League Baseball games. Any plays at home plate that are reasonably close, you can just anticipate the manager coming out and arguing and see if he can get a replay out of a situation. And the replays are being played here at U.S. Cellular, and the fans seem to feel that the call was wrong.
Once the manager comes out, they can then show the replays on the big board at the stadiums. But to my naked eye, I'll just say I thought that was an instant, easy, safe call.
Well, I thought Castro actually did a pretty good job of getting that left foot out in front of the point of home plate. It's just the tag was there a little bit late, and Adam Eaton just did a great job of sliding around that tag and getting that right foot on the plate before the tag.
Yeah,
with that high hop off the grass.
Again, for me, it looked like a call that was missed. And I think when it's all said and done, the White Sox are going to have a run on the board. Your impressions on that play?
I think I agree with you. That's what I was speaking to, is that I thought that Castro did a good job setting up where he was at. It just, when that final hop from Robbie Grossman came off the grass, it bounced up a little bit high. Didn't allow for Castro to get that glove down in time. And I think credit to Adam Eaton with a great slide going to that outside part of the plate and sneaking that right foot on top of the plate.
Umpires reviewing the play, and of course that takes place back in New York. There's that hop Blummer's talking about. Tag comes down.
Yeah, and that's what I saw is when that catch is made up around Castro's face, that's a long way to go back down to the ground. And watch Adam Eaton's right foot. Did it touch home plate?
Yeah, that's the question. You could see the foot getting to the plate, but did it actually get down and touch the plate?
That was an interesting angle because from center field it looked like Adam Eaton was in.
Sure did.
Before the tag.
Yeah, that final view kind of put a little bit of a question mark in my mind. Right foot. Did he get a little bit of that?
Get it from there? It almost looks like the toe did get it.
Yeah.
But from that angle we saw behind home plate, it didn't look like it popped up and went over the plate.
They're going to stay with the out call. So that bouncing foot, apparently no way that you could definitively say that it got the plate ahead of the tag. So the White Sox do not get on the board. It's 2 outs. It's a double play on the fly out by Ramirez. 9-2 to complete that double play. And that's a big one.
Foot's down, pops up, and when the tag is made, that foot's off the plate. Never touched that edge of home plate before the tag.
Yeah, that's the big question. And obviously in New York, they didn't feel that the touch was made. So a very big play, and Robbie Grossman with kudos on the great throw to the plate. Scott Feldman gets a little reprieve here in the inning, but it doesn't last long as Jose Abreu steps to the plate and scalds one down the left field side. He'll stop with a 2-out double, second extra base hit of the inning for the White Sox.
The beast, Abreu. Get to watch him play in person. Saw him take some batting practice today. He is a big man at home plate. Does a good job of pulling the hands in, turning on that. See his 21st double. He's got 29 home runs on the season. He's only 20 away from tying the rookie record set by Mark McGwire with 49.
So Abreu in scoring position for Adam Dunn, the cleanup man. He is also the DH. 14 bombs on the year, 36 runs driven in. Dunn just hitting .224, takes the breaking ball that's away. A couple of hits already against Scott Feldman. Adam Dunn puts it on the ground. Jose Altuve's in shallow right. He'll take his time, throw on to Singleton. And the Astros and Scott Feldman get out of the first inning unscathed as they leave a man at second.
Score. It's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast that's brought to you by AT&T. And tweeters, while you're tweeting, make sure to answer our Twitter question today so we can read one of the tweets later on in the broadcast. Today, we're talking about the second half of the season. What are you looking forward to the most in the second half of the year? Tweet those to Howard Chin or myself. We'll read them the best ones later in the broadcast, guys.
Thanks a lot, Julia. Scoreless game and an intriguing first inning as the White Sox got a leadoff triple and failed to score thanks to a double play, a great throw from Robbie Grossman to get it done. So we go to the second, a scoreless game. Matt Dominguez leads off. Quintana with a couple of strikeouts, getting Altuve and Carter in the first. The Astros are 11-6 against the White Sox. That dates back to June 25th of 2006. Best record for the Astros against any other club would be against Colorado, where they're 23-21. Pirates right behind. Phillies at 500. 1-2 the count on Matty D. To be followed by John Singleton and Robbie Grossman here in the second. The Astros now have 27 games remaining against teams with winning records. 66 overall. "96 games already under the belt this season for Bo Porter and company. There have been ups and downs, no doubt. Dominguez fouls it back. For Matt Dominguez, the batting average at .237, has 11 homers on the year. Reaches out, hits it on the ground, finds a big hole on the right side. It's a leadoff single for Matt Dominguez. Second baseman Beckham playing well toward the bag at second.
And Matty D says thank you very much. Not sure if he got a good jump on this or not. But I thought the way the ball was hit that Beckham was going to have a pretty good shot at it. Much to the delight of Domingo, standing on first base with the base hit to start off this second half.
That one falls in that category for me of you put the shift on and then you pitch away from your shift. That pitch down and away. Matty D with a couple of strikes just reached out and put it on the ground to the right side. So he takes advantage. Hit number one for the Astros. It brings up John Singleton, who gets jammed as he fouls it off.
You know, those shifts are interesting too. Early in the count you can play to tendencies a little bit, but maybe with two strikes sometimes you can adjust on guys. Matt Dominguez for me is a guy that can go the other way pretty well if he's getting a pitch away in a two-strike count.
I would agree. I've seen him hit balls that way a number of times. This ball is scorched into right field, base hit, and it gets on by Viciedo and rolls to the wall. Here comes Matt Dominguez. He will score. Into third base is John Singleton. We'll see how it's ruled. But one way or the other, the Astros lead it 1-0 here in the second.
Well, seeing eye base hit for Matt Dominguez to start off the inning, and then John Singleton smoked that ball pretty well off of Quintana. And that was just a terrible angle by Viciedo going over there trying to cut that ball off. Good job of staying on that, getting extended. But you can see Viciedo kind of lunged forward. Maybe not thinking that ball was hit as hard as it was, but when it sneaks by him and goes all the way to the wall, Matty D scores easy. Take advantage of mistakes.
It is a single and an E9 that enables the run to score and also enables Singleton to move into third base. So the first error on the night, and it cost the White Sox.
Great time to hit for Robbie Grossman. Infield back, corners are in. Ground ball to second or shorter, a nice fly ball. Score John Singleton, put another tally on the board.
Grossman from the right side of the plate. For Robbie, a .183 batting average. And he, like the club, has had his ups and downs. The downs have been rather prolonged. Grounds went slowly to shortstop. And now with a late break coming home, John Singleton, he'll score nonetheless. RBI ground out by Grossman. And just one out here in the second inning as the Astros take a 2-0 lead.
Take the 0 for 1, but that's a quality at bat by Robbie Grossman. get that runner at third base. He has to score if there's less than 2 outs, and just does a good job of hitting a nice little lazy ground ball to shortstop. Easy for Singleton to make that choice and score.
So 1 out for Kike Hernandez, who gets the start tonight at shortstop. And good to see. He was so good in a couple of games in Anaheim while playing at shortstop. He's been very good in left field. Not sure we've seen anything from Kike that would be on a negative side. Kind of has that back foot slip back behind him as he shoots toward right field.
They love that here in Chicago. That's the old Charlie Lau way of hitting. Scissor kick, much like Frank Thomas.
Fastball's high. Walt Riniak, another one of the hitting coaches from that time frame.
I was never able to pull that form of swing off. I had to be on that back leg and squash the bug, so to speak.
I bet you didn't plan it the way Singleton or Springer does.
No.
A few days off, and now I can't get the Springer Singleton thing together.
You can just sprinkle them together and call them Springleton.
That's the most dangerous one. 2-2 taken just down and in. Dan Bellino didn't like it. There's some of the big White Sox. There's Dick Allen, one of the guys I remember as a kid. Bill Melton lived in my neck of the woods. Frank Thomas.
Harold Payne's Jermaine Dye, an ex-teammate, great guy.
And that one just below the knees. So Kike Hernandez getting some respect as he takes ball 4. 1 out. He'll be at first for Hose.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite.
There's Kike at first base, and there's Jose Abreu, who has already doubled in his only at bat. LJ Hose in the 9 spot and getting the start tonight in left. Against the left-hander. Hitting 181 overall. It was a nice second half of the season for LJ last year. It just hasn't gone that way this year for LJ.
Been a lot going on for LJ. I'm not sure if he knew what his role was going to be on this ball club coming out of spring. We heard rumors of maybe a platoon out in left field, then kind of lost his job out there, gets sent down. Now he's back up. Just looking to return to the ways, like you said, Ash. He had a great finish to the season last year when he was really shooting the ball the other way and doing good things for the Houston Astros.
Hit 287 for the club after the trade from the Orioles. Had 7 doubles, a couple of triples, and a home run. Not a guy that you would anticipate hitting for a lot of power, at least right now. The 1-0. And a strike on the inside edge.
Yeah, I think the times that we have seen LJ drive the ball and maybe hit a couple home runs to left field is when he's kind of ambushed or guessed on that fastball inside and really opened up and turned on it. But that's not the nature of his swing normally.
In 7 seasons in the minor league as Hose takes a strike, LJ hit 287. So that number last year with the Astros maybe right on the mark of what LJ felt like he was capable of putting up. He had some very good numbers his last few seasons in the minors, hitting over 300 in each case. That fastball just blown by at 93. Second out here in the second inning. Back to the top with Altuve.
Yeah, that was a little tardy. Maybe looking for the break, and it didn't.
Yeah, watch this ball.
That's in the glove. I mean, we've all been there. I pardon the giggle a little bit, but when you see it at that angle, it really reinforces the fact that it was a little bit late on that one.
Yeah, he could have had that bat right on the right plane, and he was going to come up empty. Altuve struck out in the first and swings through the heater here. The Astros on top 2-0 on a left-handed pitcher, Quintana, who has been, in the assessment of some, especially here in Chicago, one of the better pitchers in baseball in recent times. Little looper dropping in right field. It will drop in front of Viciedo. A 2-out single. Moving into second base is Hernandez, and it brings up Jason Castro. So Altuve picks up the knock, and for Jose is 131st on the season as he leads the league.
He's probably asking somebody in the dugout if they packed any extra bats for him. Broke a bat in that first at bat, and then this one goes down. A hero. Fastball inside, just fights it off. Dumps it out there in front of the right fielder, as Jose Altuve can do.
He's just so good in this regard. And yet, you think of recent games for the Astros where Altuve was raking balls down the left field line in Houston. I believe he did that as well in Arlington against the Rangers. He's just as likely, in my mind anyway, to hit the ball down the right field line as the left field line. Statistics might say the left field favors him.
Well, it might be season to season, too. It seems
Yes.
like they're pitching him a little bit more in this year, because last year we saw him going to right field predominantly.
2 outs for Castro. Good breaking ball for a strike. Quintana can spot his fastball very well, as we've mentioned. One of the things that the White Sox have tried to get him to do is to throw that leadoff breaking ball that he just loops through for a called strike. That fastball was intended to be up and in. Instead, it's right through the heart of the plate. Castro no doubt guessing something other than heater.
How about Castro's numbers coming into this game today against left-handed pitching? On the season, 292.
It's been really good. Any logic for that?
Just getting better, making adjustments.
That said, what about the right side against the right-hand pitcher, or the right-hand pitchers? 212 is the mark there.
Might be a different game plan against him from right-handed pitchers, because those are the guys that took a beating last year when he was an all-star.
Sky's not quite yet darkened here in Chicago. Oh, 2 in the dirt. Flowers has done a nice job here in the inning blocking pitches. In fact, in far fewer at bats against left-hand pitching, Castro has 6 doubles versus the 9 he's hit against righties in, again, far more at bats. Comes into play tonight. Plate appearances 236 against the righties, just 72 against southpaws.
And hitting 212 against right-handed pitching. 80 points higher against lefties.
Quintana comes with the heat on the inside edge. 2 runs here in the second inning for Houston. Matt Dominguez scored the first. Second, John Singleton. There was an error charged to the right fielder, Viciedo, that certainly aided the Astros in that regard. Got him on the slider. So Castro down on strikes. And for Quintana, that's 4 strikeouts, but he trails after an inning and a half, 2-0.
The White Sox 2-0. Scott Feldman with a lead here, coming into today's game with 4-6 record. And if you ask him about the first half of the season, he'll tell you a lot of highs, a lot of lows. Off to a great start of the year, and then landed on the DL. And after that, just couldn't really get into a groove. Well, I asked him about what do you do this second half? How do you put it back on track? He said, really, I just focus on staying healthy, making all my starts, and pitching deeper into games, and the rest of it will fall into place, guys.
Thanks, Julia. And I think that's true for any pitcher who knows as a starter what he should be out there to do. Give your team a chance to win, get deep, and enable the bullpen not to be overused on any given night. Lifetime against the White Sox, making his 11th start. A little slider popped up down the right field side. Long chase for Grossman, and it's back about 10 rows. The Chicago White Sox and their 25-man roster, it's filled with 8 players that are rookies. It's the second most in the major leagues, behind the Diamondbacks, who have 9. Two and one. Fastball grooved and fouled back. That's one of those swings where you should know that's a pitch you have to get. 2-2 the count. Viciedo hitting .241. That one a bit high at 88. 11 home runs for Viciedo. Has driven in 34. It was Viciedo charged with the error in right field that led to the 2 runs for Houston. One of the many fine Cuban players in Major League Baseball these days. He draws the walk. It comes leading off as Gillespie comes to the plate.
Got a bit of a heat map for Scott Feldman. K's on the 2014 season. On the left, obviously fastballs. On the right is that off speed, it says, but I guarantee you a majority of those are breaking balls. And when he's effective and when he does get those strikeouts, the curveball is down in the dirt and below the zone. And if you look on the left, the fastball is up in the zone. That's what Brent Strom is talking about, pitching up in the strike zone. You elevate the eyes of the hitter, get him to chase those fastballs up every once in a while, and once you get his eyes up towards that top of the zone, you throw that breaking ball down the zone. It's tough to cover as a hitter.
First pitch in for a called strike. Connor Gillespie, you can see with the bat, has been maybe a lot more than the White Sox anticipated, hitting .326. Not a lot in terms of pop. 4 dingers. Gillespie, a long look down to third base. Robin Ventura, the skip now with the White Sox. Known as one of the really good guys in the game. Gillespie originally drafted by the Giants, a first rounder in 2008, as he takes the curveball away. 2-1 the count. Leadoff walk to Viciedo. Gillespie, Beckham, and De Aza to follow here in the inning. Gillespie came up with the Giants in 2008. Played in just 8 games. And now 3-1. So Feldman in jeopardy of walking a second straight here in the second inning after getting that 2-0 lead.
Oh, a tough time locating that fastball. Yeah, you don't want to get yourself a 2-run lead and then bounce back and give the other team an opportunity to answer.
Pitch might have been out of the strike zone. It's now 3-2.
No, I completely agree. I think he did him a favor by swinging at that.
Gillespie came up with the White Sox last year, played in 134 games. Played pretty well, hit .244, .245 rather, with 13 bombs. He is not a guy that's going to steal bases. In fact, has never stolen one on the big league level. There goes Viciedo. The pitch hit in the air, left center field. Springer playing there. Turns him around. He'll make the catch. And out number one. Nice job by Feldman to come back and get his man. One out for second baseman Gordon Beckham. The Astros made a roster change today. They brought in right-hand pitcher Jake Buchanan. That from Oklahoma City. Second time that he's been with the club this year. He will be pitching out of the bullpen. Buchanan takes the roster spot of right-hand pitcher David Martinez. And Martinez sent back to AAA. Beckham takes low. It's 1-0. There's been one double play on the night. That came in the first inning. Leadoff triple by Eaton. But he tried to score on a fly ball hit by Alexi Ramirez to right field. Robbie Grossman had other thoughts. He made the catch, fired on a hop to the plate. Jason Castro applied the tag, and the Astros got the double play. It was reviewed, and the Astros wound up getting that call to stand their way. Nothing irrefutable on the other side. Ball and a strike. Small slider, maybe cutter in the terminology of Scott Feldman. Feldman works with Jason Castro behind the plate tonight. Fastball left up and fouled into the catcher's mitt. Those 27 games we mentioned for the Astros remaining against teams that currently have winning records is the fourth fewest around the major leagues. Ties him with the Giants. On the hands, ground ball to short. Kike, Altuve, and Singleton, they get the double play. 6-4-3, second turn by the Astros tonight, and that'll do it for the White Sox in the second inning. It's 2-0 Houston after 2. One we know very well, George Springer, who did his top
getting a chance to see all his tools. We haven't had a chance to see that speed, but the power is definitely there. 19 home runs, 50 RBIs after missing an entire month of the season before getting called up. This young man right here out of Cuba, Jose Abreu, lighting up all the rookie charts with 29 home runs at the break. It's fun to watch these two guys. Both these guys are at the top. I believe that George Springer is in second place on that home run list with 19. And he's looking to break that Sox rookie record, tied with 6 more home runs, and I think there's a pretty good chance that he can do that if he continues at this pace. Big enough, strong enough. Future of the AL Central and the AL West right there.
And by gosh, I think people like him too. A 1-1 count on Springer.
No reason not to.
He's got a chance to be something very, very special.
And I think that batting average is going to climb the longer that George Springer is in the major league too.
It's a piece on the high heat. I would imagine the scouting report has a few ways to go after George, but one of the ways is pretty standard. That good high fastball. See him choking up maybe just a fraction on the bat. Lays off the slider. Not easy to do on that pitch, especially when you're trying to drive the ball like George does.
Holds his ground pretty good in the box. Stands tall. You don't really see him lunging too much. It's a good sign when a youngster can keep his hands back and be patient.
Hits it on the ground to short. Taken on that second hop by Ramirez. He'll get the out at first. And out number 1 here in the 3rd inning. 2-0 Houston. Pretty good crowd on hand here this evening. Friday night in the Windy City. By the way, right-hand batters had not been having any success against Quintana in recent times until Altuve. And Matt Dominguez picked up a couple of hits against him in the 2nd inning. Right-handers had gone hitless in their last 26 at-bats against Quintana. Chris Carter, a strikeout victim in the 1st. The Astros with 3 hits on the night. Altuve, Dominguez, and Singleton.
Hey, Ash.
Julia, what you got?
Well, you were talking about how much success Quintana had against the righties. I asked Bo about this earlier because he does have so many righties in this lineup. He said it's because these are everyday guys for me. They're going to be in the lineup no matter what. So showing some confidence in some of these righties in his lineup.
That's a good point, and I think you do stay with the guys, stay with your horses. You don't change it just because that pitcher has had success. In watching Quintana, Blummer, you have any logical reason as to why he's been so tough on the righties?
I don't know. He's only about 6 feet tall. Pitches up in the zone, but he's doing a good job of painting that outside corner. We've actually, for me, I've seen a couple more changeups than I anticipated seeing from Quintana. And I wonder if he's trying to mix that up because of the way the Astro hitters are approaching him. But that breaking ball for me from Quintana is eerily reminiscent of what Dallas Keuchel has been doing all year with his slider/curveball.
One of the quickest things I would jump to when a left-hander is getting right-handers out and vice versa is that a changeup is involved. Not always the case.
Yeah, but we've seen Dallas Keuchel with that variation of a slider doing a good job of taking the speed off it, getting a little bit bigger break, and then throwing a hard one down and in and getting some swing and misses. So he's obviously made the adjustment with that pitch and doesn't have to go back to that changeup. But I agree with you. Usually changeup is the great equalizer because it goes down and away from right-handed hitters.
Carter gets a piece as he fouls it back. 3-2 the count.
And Quintana's not afraid to pitch inside, even though he's only throwing 90-91.
From what we were told, Quintana likes to work to the glove side. That would be in on right-hand hitters. But he's also been reminded that in the major leagues you've got to work both ways. We saw him do that brilliantly against Altuve back in the 1st. Again, the 3-2. Got him on the heat. So Carter a strikeout victim twice tonight. That's 5 now for Quintana. 2 outs in the 3rd inning.
Come out to Minute Maid Park August 1st through the 3rd to celebrate Legends Weekend as the Astros host the Toronto Blue Jays in a 3-game series. On Saturday, August 2nd, 10,000 fans will receive an Andy Pettitte jersey courtesy of Waste Management. For tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Matt Dominguez stands in, picked up that first Houston hit, came leading off the 2nd inning, and he came around and scored on the Singleton base hit. There was no RBI involved. There was an error charged to the right fielder Viciedo. 2-0 the count on Matty D. You were in Houston the last 3-game series against the Yankees last year when Andy Pettitte twirled that gem against Houston. That was so impressive and a lot of fun to watch for Andy.
Earned the right to sell his jersey just on that game alone. Pitched extremely well.
Fastball hammered high and deep left center field. Back at the track. De makes the play. So just getting under it a bit. Matt Dominguez. That'll do it a 1-2, 3/3. But 2-0 Houston.
We move to the bottom of the 3rd. Make sure if you're watching, you're also checking out Astros in-game live. Go to csnhouston.com. Check out the enhanced Bloomberg stats like you've never seen. Also vote for Player of the Game. The winner will be revealed in Astros post-game live, guys.
Thanks a lot, Julia. What do you got going on down? Are there Chicago dogs lighting up the stands tonight?
Chicago dogs. There's also another dish I've been told about. It's something having to do with corn and, you know, I can't even remember the name, but I will be investigating.
I kind of have to have a Chicago dog when I come to Chicago. Just seems to kind of fit. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Thanks a lot, Julia. 8-9-1 for the White Sox. De Aza, Flowers, and Eaton back at the top. It was May 16th through the 18th this year. These two clubs met up in Houston. High fastball showing bunt, pulling it back is De Aza. De Aza hitting just .232 with 5 bombs. The fastball up in the strike zone. It's 1-1. Both runs for Houston coming in the 2nd inning. Good curveball just away for Scott, and you can see the body language saying, where was that?
Well, we've seen a couple curveballs earlier in the game too that he's not getting that outside corner on the breaking ball, trying to backdoor that. Fastball trying to come in as Feldman. It's hit in the air to right field.
Back to the track goes Grossman to make the play. First out here in the third. With one out, it brings up the catcher, Tyler Flowers. Flowers hitting just .218 after a very strong start to his season. He's also found his way amongst the leaders in terms of strikeouts. Big, strong guy, 5 homers on the year. A.J. Pierzynski was sent away from Chicago. The job became Flowers. And again, he took it strongly to begin with, but has had his struggles. I guess bottom line, Major League's kind of a tough place to be.
You never know. A.J. might reappear here in Chicago.
Free agent now. May not be a good thing.
Being a free agent's not a good thing?
I mean, it can be, but in his case right now, I'm not sure it's a good thing.
Yeah, you really don't want to be a mid-season free agent.
Well, offenses around the major leagues have dropped considerably. Foul back to the screen. 1-2 the count.
Are you talking on a whole?
Yeah, on the whole. The numbers have dropped in some cases to the lowest they've been seen in decades. Runs per game. Both teams combined about 8 1/4 runs a game. So just over 4 runs for each club in a ball game. Breaking ball got him swinging. Flowers down on strikes. The out recorded as Castro throws on down to first. 2 down here in the third. And that's the first strikeout for Feldman.
Well, and how about seeing a breaking ball down in the zone for a strikeout? That's where he can be so effective. He really got on top of that yacker and got Flowers to chase on that one. And getting back to the league numbers you're going to go into, the runs per game, but the biggest thing for me is that strikeouts are at a ridiculous rate these days in Major League Baseball.
About 15.5 per game. That's both sides. And that would be the highest in Major League history. So I guess that would be ridiculous. Home runs per game, it's below 2 a game right now. And in fact, the run score that we talked about find themselves at a low that dates back to 1992. That fastball runs low. A ball and a strike. Batting average right now at .252 around the bigs. That goes back to 1972. In 1972, the average Major League average was at .244. Ground ball to second. Altuve with the play. And a nice 1-2-3 inning in the third for Scott Feldman. It's 2-0 Houston.
White Sox top of the 4th, and it's time for the minor league report. This is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. The Astros' second round pick of this year's draft, A.J. Reed, the first baseman, was presented with the Golden Spikes Award yesterday. He's a first baseman out of Kentucky. Led the NCAA in home runs with 23, and he's also starting pitcher, a lefty on the mound. He went 12-2. Impressive stuff. This award, of course, given to the top amateur player in the country. Guys.
Thanks, Julia. And that's really nice to see. The Astros have landed a big fish there. Nice to see some offense come into the organization. John Singleton leads off the 4th inning. Houston on top 2-zip. Singleton laced a base hit into right field in the 2nd inning, and it got by the right fielder Viciedo. It went all the way to the wall. That enabled Matt Dominguez, who had singled just in front of Singleton, to come all the way from first base and score. Singleton got into 3rd himself and scored on a ground out by Robbie Grossman. So some simple baseball played very well by Houston back in the 2nd inning. Jose Quintana comes in, a very hot pitcher. There's the half swing, and Singleton down on strikes. Already 6 strikeouts now for Quintana, out number 1 here in the 4th.
It's an epidemic. Go back to those Golden Spikes Award winners. Best collegiate Division I ball player, A.J. Reed, won it this year, drafted by the Houston Astros. Some solid names up and down that list.
It's a great list.
Manager Robin Ventura of the Chicago White Sox all the way back in 1988.
Who else on that list is going to eventually become a manager?
You'd have to say Buster Posey because he's a catcher.
Yeah, there you go.
Jason Varitek.
Bryce Harper was a catcher, but I think rightly he has gotten away from that position.
I think that's a real good move on his part, especially after watching him run a little bit.
Robbie Grossman with an RBI tonight. Has a 1-2 count. Chicago, the 3rd most populous city within the U.S. New York and L.A. in front. And of course, Houston right behind Chicago. Strike 3 is taken by Robbie Grossman. Back-to-back punch-outs, 7 on the night now for Quintana.
Well, and with that 7th strikeout, you got to look at what his career and season highs are in strikeouts. We are in the 4th inning. It's 11 on his career would be the career high in strikeouts for Quintana. 10. He's done it twice this season with 10 strikeouts. Last time he did it was against Seattle.
Kike Hernandez drew a walk, that in the 2nd inning, and takes low.
Shouldn't walks be going up in the major leagues too if everybody's adhering to these Moneyball type philosophies?
Well, I guess so. I've always felt like walks happen as a result of a dangerous hitter. But yeah, I guess in general, if you're going to take a lot more pitches, you ought to see some more walks happening.
Well, I think that's why there's some strikeouts happening more frequently, because more pitches are being taken. Pitchers are taking advantage of this situation, knowing guys are going to take early in the count and jumping ahead with those early strikes.
Walks per game below 6 at 5.95, and that's the lowest mark they've seen since 1968. So all the taking is not leading to that end.
It's interesting. It's good stuff. I think those numbers are fun to talk about too, because then you start talking about generations and eras and pitchers and players who were in those years they're being compared to.
I've heard some people talk about, because of the injuries to the arms of so many pitchers, that maybe what should take place is the mound should be raised again to the way they were back in the Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Juan Marichal days, and help out the arms. But that would just bury the hitting even more if
yeah, I was going to say,
if what they were doing back then to change that and drop the mound really played out and helped the hitters.
And is there any scientific evidence that would prove that raising the mound would help arm injuries?
I don't think there's anything.
Just the downhill momentum. I'm not sure what that argument would be.
Well, I imagine it's just going back and say, hey, these guys didn't get injured, and they had a high mound, or did they? Or
I was to say how many of those guys pitched through some of them, or how many guys did get injured and were never seen again. But physiques are different. Workout regimens are completely different than they were back then.
You think the weight room can be tough on a pitcher?
I think so, and I also think that there are certain places around the country that are trying to adapt to workouts for specifically pitchers.
Pat Listash finds nobody in particular in the seats.
He's trying to make friends, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's running for office here soon.
Yeah, sometimes as a third base coach, you got to do that so they stop ragging on you, because this city is notorious, and this stadium in particular can be rough on base coaches.
Little tapper to short, 2 big hops. Ramirez with the play, and that'll do it for Houston. A 1-2-3 4th inning. It's 2-0 Stros.
Inside the lines, brought to you by their blue painter's tape. It's that play back in the first inning when Eaton was on third base after a triple. A play coming home, played on the sac fly by Alexi Ramirez. At first glance, it looks like Adam Eaton sneaks that foot in there, but now you can see on the replay from behind home plate, which is a great view, that foot comes down, but right before home plate, pops right back up, misses home plate completely, and the tag is applied by Jason Castro. The play was reviewed, and it was that view from behind home plate which solidified the right call by home plate umpire.
And that's big in the ball game. 2-0 Houston. For the White Sox here in the 4th inning, Ramirez, Abreu, and Dunn. Ramirez puts it in the air, right center field. Springer gliding over, and now finally wins out as Grossman peels away. Out number 1.
As well he should. Youngster playing in center field. Corner outfielders give way.
Now, we've talked about Jose Abreu, who doubled back in the first inning as he laced one down the left field side. He leads the major leagues in home runs with 29. He has been a revelation for these White Sox. Came out of Cuba, and Alexi Ramirez, who just flied out, also one of the Cuban-born players. 5 of them have made the All-Star team this year, so Cuba producing some great major league talent. So Abreu and Ramirez made the All-Star team along with Yoenis Cespedes of the Dodgers, Aroldis Chapman, the hard-throwing left-hander for the Reds, and Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers. I think I said Dodgers on Cespedes. I meant the Oakland A's. Those were the 5 All-Stars coming out of Cuba. That matched the second most of any year. There were 6 Cuban-born All-Stars in 1968. Imagine that. I'd love to hear some people trying to guess those names. Not going to stick it on you, but I think maybe easy there. Bert Campaneris, Tony Oliva, Tony Perez, Luis Tiant. But add to that list Leo Cardenas and Joe Askew.
Duh.
Of course. Fastball on the hands is popped up on the infield. John Singleton calling. He's going to get called off by Jose Abreu in the second out here in the inning.
This season at Minute Maid Park, every Friday night home game is followed by spectacular fireworks. They are presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next Friday night firework is July 25th after the Astros play the Miami Marlins. Get tickets at 1-877-9-ASTROS or go to Astros.com.
Got fireworks tonight right here at USL. Yeah. Nice ballpark. I know you were here. I think that might have been a World Series year for the White Sox. Blummer, your impressions of this ballpark?
I love playing here. I thought they did a great job. The playing surface is absolutely incredible. The groundskeeper here did a great job of coming over and asking guys, do you want the grass long, short? He would vary it around the infield for different guys. He would even ask, do you want third base soaking wet when you go out to start the game to keep the ball down, or keeping the back edges. That's a beautiful sight right there. I know not for Astro fans, but for a lot of White Sox fans and ex-players, it was a good year. But I thought this place played really true. I thought it was a little bit better for left-handed hitters as far as hitting home runs and things like that. But the backdrop is great. I think the gaps are big. No real quirks to speak of down the lines.
Who is that?
Well, that's a compressed version of me keeping my nose down on the ball, and
or was that keeping your right shoulder up into the face?
That was after contact, and I got to be honest, I laid into that one, and it went pretty good.
Felt okay?
Felt real good.
How about the jog portion of that? I mean, they force you to run around the bags. Fly ball deep left field. Going back is Hose, and now tries to time it at the wall, and it hits off the wall. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
2 hops on top of the wall? Are you kidding me?
I thought the first one could have hit the glove of Hose. I don't know.
How about that, huh?
That ball bounced twice, and that second bounce came back into play.
That breeze blowing in a little bit from center field. I thought that ball was smashed going out to left field. Can't wait to see a replay on this one. Hose gave it a good effort. I want to see if it got any part of his glove, but watch the top part of the wall.
You could see that he misplaced where the ball was going to be. I think that hit the wall.
Bounced pretty high in the. Unbelievable.
It's a double when it's all said and done for Adam Dunn.
I didn't realize how high that first hop was off the top of the wall.
2-out double brings up Viciedo. Viciedo drew a walk leading off the second inning. Breaking ball, grounded foul.
That'd be the most upset Adam Dunn has ever been to get a double.
Adam Dunn has put up some pretty impressive career numbers. No, it's not about the batting average for Adam. That double, his 15th of the year, by the way.
How many home runs does he have in his career?
Well, on the career of Adam Dunn, a guy who's hit 40-plus home runs multiple times as that fastball is pumped through. Lifetime number 454 in terms of the home runs. And I wonder if Adam Dunn is thinking, I'd sure love to get to 500.
If he hit it on 499, what does he look back to this one?
Yeah, that's
that
good.
Would be terrible.
Yeah, he's got over 1,100 career RBIs. Breaking ball hit right off the end of the bat. Singleton will take it himself, and that'll do it for the White Sox. They get a 2-out double and Strand done. It's 2-0 Houston.
You don't have to be big to be a big leaguer. Look at Phil Rizzuto. He's really small, and he's been one of the greatest that ever was. That was a quote from Nellie Fox back in 1955. Here's some numbers on Nellie Fox. Small in stature, but mighty on the field. Second baseman for the Chicago White Sox, 5'9". Sound familiar to the Astro fans? 12-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves. Look at that last line. AL MVP in 1959 at the age of 31. Pretty impressive stuff.
I wonder, is in today's game where the power means so much, is that possible for a guy like Jose Altuve?
Yeah, you look at Nellie's numbers. 306 batting average that year, on base percentage at 380, slugged only 389.
Yeah, that wasn't his game, no doubt.
Wizard with the glove. He drove in 70 RBIs, 191 hits.
Swung that big bottle handle, I can't remember how they used to say it, bat that had the big thick handle. Imagine he could go through a year with that thing. LJ Hose leads off, has a 1-2 count.
Are you ready for this one, though?
I don't know.
He only had 5 stolen bases. He had 71 walks, 13 strikeouts in a full season with 624 at-bats. What was everybody else doing in the league that year?
You know, I remember starting to watch baseball in 1960-ish. 59, the Dodgers won the World Series in the Coliseum. 58 could have been, or played in the World Series. Memory fades now a bit as the ground ball goes short. 2 big hops at short for Ramirez, and he'll get the first out of the inning.
Since we're talking about Nellie Fox, some of the shorter second basemen who had big games, you can look at the comparison. I believe Nellie Fox was 26, or Jose Altuve at 26, and Nellie Fox in some of his better, I think it was one of his better years, 319 average, 335. He's pretty comparable. I think Jose doing great things, can add up to those runs. I like the run scored by Nellie Fox at 111. Pretty impressive stuff. Jose Altuve on his way. I just love that he was getting national respect and actually got to play in that All-Star game and prove his worth. He had a great job with that sac fly to drive in a run for the American League. Made a great backhanded play.
Nellie Fox was 26 years of age in that year that we just saw the stats from.
Okay, so I was mistaken.
So Altuve's 24. So, you know, a pretty fair comparison. Altuve's made huge strides, it would seem, this year. And you wonder, can he continue to get better? I'm not so sure. I have a feeling this is about as good as you're going to see most guys get. And that's not me putting limitations on Altuve. It's just how good can you get in today's game? I'm not sure.
Well, how good can you get is one question. How consistent can you be? And that's what I think everybody in Houston is looking for from Jose Altuve. Yes, he's putting up fantastic numbers. You don't expect him to do that every year. You know, but what is his consistent average is what everybody's looking for.
This pitch is just crushed on a line, but fouled down the left field side. That's the thing with Altuve, and I doubt that it was the same with Nellie Fox. But with Altuve, you try to come in, and he is just going to explode the barrel on the baseball and line it to left.
No, he can throw the head, and he's proved to people around the league this year that the kitchen is closed. You try and come in, and he's going to turn on it. And even though he didn't get a hit on that one right there, it still plants a seed in Quintana's head that says, hey, I've got to be extra special trying to come in because he just barreled that one up.
Not sure I can work in that kitchen. Count stays at 2-2 on Jose. .336 that batting average. He started the day in second place in the American League in batting average. Only Adrian Beltre in front of him by just a couple of points, and now Altuve has struck out for the second time on the night. Nellie Fox, that year you were showing, struck out just 12 times that year. So
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I think it was a very different game.
Well, I think defense was a little more involved for some of those guys up the middle. Borderline pitch on Altuve.
One of the great shortstops of all time, Luis Aparicio, who played with the White Sox and with Nellie Fox. That was a great double play combo.
Gosh, could you imagine?
Well, you know,
nice to pitch with that behind
no
you.
kidding. For me, the best of all time would be Robbie Alomar teaming up with
Omar Vizquel.
Omar Vizquel, thanks. That combination, that was not only great, but that was for show.
That was pure entertainment, is what it was.
The show was going on. And the thing is, they didn't mess up when they were putting on the show. Castro with a 1-1 count. Castro has flied out and struck out. Can you think of another double play combination you'd put up with that one?
Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Not flashy, but got it done defensively and offensively.
Yep. A lot of years with the Tigers. Yeah, that's a good one to bring up. Trying to think of any others that I would kind of put in that conversation.
About the big red machine.
Yeah, that was David Concepcion at shortstop and Joe Morgan at second. And I'm sure that there would be some that would say that one belongs. It may have. Offensively, of course, Joe Morgan, a two-time MVP. David Concepcion was a terrific player. Stays at 2-2 on Castro. And now 104 pitches as the Astros have made Quintana work a bit tonight. Well, we could be looking at his last inning of work. The White Sox have a right-hander throwing in their pen. Is Daniel Webb.
Yeah, Quintana throws a lot of pitches. Goes well into the century mark in his last 6 or 7 starts.
But again, you look at those games, and we're talking 7+ innings of work in those games. The Astros are not going to let that happen tonight. 5 consecutive games of 7+ innings. Pitches drilled down the right field side, hooking at the line, and this one is foul at the foul pole. Very close for Castro.
And that was a great piece of hitting by Jason.
He turns and takes a look down at the corner, and I wonder if Jason's thinking, I thought that ball was a fair ball.
I don't even know how he kept this ball even close to being considered fair.
Well, Porter, you could hear, I believe, saying, no, I've got a better angle. But when we watch that replay, I don't think the skip is right.
No, I'm hoping he's going over there and telling him he's got a bad angle. I don't think this is one worth reviewing from the angle that we just saw. Now, this home run decision, this comes without a manager losing his request, does it not? Yeah, this is the home runs are reviewable, fair fouls reviewable.
So they're going to check it, and this should come back very quickly based on the angle we just saw. That ball appeared to be outside of the foul pole.
This one may go down in your stat sheet as a TK or a time killer.
No technical knockout. That's outside of the pole.
Yep. Brian Onora was watching that ball the whole way.
You know, I'm guessing that angle for the first base umpire on the chalk is probably a better angle than the typical skipper gets from the dugout. Just my viewpoint on that one.
I think that's an excellent point, Ash.
I've felt many times that our seat up here where we broadcast might be the best one, because I'm pretty convinced that every time I see a play called that I know what it is, but it turns out otherwise a lot of times.
You're an expert.
Well, yeah, I'm sitting next to the expert.
Only in label.
Well, that review continues on with the umpires. We've already had one. And that came back in the bottom of the first inning.
I can only imagine what Major Tom is saying to ground control.
This is going to be a foul ball, and we kind of knew that one. But I don't believe that Bo Porter has lost his chance to ask the umpires to review a call.
I agree with you. And how long before they take it out of the umpire's hands and just send it right up here to the booth?
Yeah, that's, for me, look, don't you want to just get it right?
Yes.
So let the folks up here just throw up the yellow card.
We've got the facilities to do it. Our guys in the truck work hard. We get the replays like that.
I'm not really sure what this charade with the managers coming out is all about. You?
Yeah, Bo just needs to come out, point up at us, and we'll give him thumbs up, thumbs down, and move on.
And let it happen automatically. Pitch is popped up on the left side. Ramirez, the shortstop on the outfield grass, called off by his left fielder, DeRosa, who makes the play, and that'll do it for the Astros in the 5th inning. A 1-2-3 frame.
Fifth. Make sure to come out to Minute Maid Park August 1st through the 3rd to celebrate Legends Weekend as the Astros host the Toronto Blue Jays in a 3-game set. On Friday, August 1st, 10,000 fans will receive a Lance Berkman bobblehead courtesy of Houston Methodist. For tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Hey guys, Bo Porter has yet to announce who will start after this series. We have Feldman today, of course Dallas Keuchel tomorrow, Jared Cozart, and then it would be McHugh to start that next series, except he's on the DL. So in that case, Brett Oberholzer is hanging out with the team to make sure all is well with McHugh as he threw a bullpen today. Said to be fine. They're just going to see how he feels tomorrow, and then they will make a decision from there.
Good info, Julia. Thanks. And yeah, it's good to see Obi back with the ball club. He's generally pitched quite well. His last start didn't quite go that way for him. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-0 Astros. They picked up a pair in the 2nd inning, aided by an error committed by the right fielder. Third baseman Connor Gillespie leads it off, followed by Beckham and De Aza. There's that backdoor breaking ball, and that has not gotten much results on the evening for Scott Feldman. Julia mentioned that Dallas Keuchel goes tomorrow. He'll be opposed by Hector Noesi, right-hand pitcher for the White Sox. And then in the concluding game on Sunday, it is Jared Cozart against John Danks, the left-hander. 2 balls and a strike. Gillespie 0 for 1 on the night, flied to center field. Just 54 pitches for Scott Feldman, so he has been much more tidy with the pitch count here this evening than his competitor, Jose Quintana. Likely done with his night. On the hands, it's popped up in shallow left. Kike Hernandez calling, and now called off by L.J. Hose. 1 up, 1 down in the 5th. To bring up the 7-hitter, Gordon Beckham. He's the second baseman. They love him defensively here in Chicago. Offensively, the numbers have been sliding. Starts the night hitting .238. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the 2nd inning. 1 of 2 turned tonight by Houston.
Not sure if there's any edges on the plate for Scott Feldman.
Yeah, I would say that very same pitch a couple of times against Altuve back in the first inning might have been called a strike. Little cutter gets a swing and a foul tip. It's 1-1.
Well, sometimes you just throw it down the middle.
There you go.
Get a swing and miss.
I thought every major league hitter just crushed that pitch when it came his way.
Another myth in baseball.
Yeah, with the numbers we were just talking about, apparently it's quite a myth in the game today. Little tapper out in the front of the plate. Castro with a play, and out number 2.
Great guests, hot topics, and no holds barred debate. Kevin Eschenfelder serves it up fresh every single night on Sports Talk Live every weeknight at 5 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Worked a couple of games with Kevin back in spring training, and it's hard to imagine that this much time has passed, that we're now post All-Star game.
You miss him.
He's a good one, no doubt about it. 2 outs. De Aza at the plate. Alejandro De Aza, and he takes a strike. I was kind of curious if we might see anything come from Major League Baseball as this pitch is lined into center field. 2-out single for De Aza, brings up the 9-hitter Tyler Flowers. In regards to the pace of play, I thought maybe following the All-Star game we might hear something, but hasn't come about.
Well, the pace of the home run derby was atrocious.
Well, were they just trying to match the pace of a game?
I'm not sure. It almost did, but the amount of pitches those guys were taking was truly astonishing to me. But that's the home run derby. I guess it's a completely different animal when you get to the baseball game.
I wonder if you couldn't instill a rule in the home run derby that says you get X number of pitches for your round, or you can take this many.
Well, that would put a lot of pressure on the BP thrower.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
You better bring out somebody who knows what they're doing and doesn't get nervous in front of big crowds.
The thing is, though, the hitters take a lot of pitches right down the middle, or on that inner third, as they like to get in the home run derby. I think they
treat it like a round of BP. It's pretty much home run derby before games anyway, sometimes for some guys out there.
Big swing and a miss by Flowers. He struck out in the third. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, guys don't take pitches in batting practice. Of course, they maybe see 6, 7, 8, depending on the guy that says 2 more 5 times. How many pitches they're going to get in a round of BP?
Man, isn't that the truth?
Did you ever have that guy, the 2 more guy?
Are you kidding me? Of course I did. Sit behind the cage and say, round of 7. He'd walk out of there with 10.
10?
Oh,
but
man.
You didn't play with a real bad one then.
Well, they get an earful from me. Not counting in Canadian.
Pretty nice running total of pitches for Scott Feldman as this one's fouled back. 2-2 the count. In the 5th inning, 2-0 Houston. Game 1 following the All-Star game. And nice to see the American League come away with the victory. They have dominated over recent years, recent decades.
I thought it was a good All-Star game to watch. Just with Derek Jeter leaving. Some of the defense that was being played, some of the pitching.
Alexi Ramirez was the shortstop that had to go out onto the field and remove Derek Jeter. That was kind of intriguing, and I wonder how he felt about that.
As far as?
Well, the skip says, okay, and the skip's already talked to Derek Jeter. We're going to come out and get you and do it right and let the fans have a chance to give their applause. But you're the semi-youngster in Ramirez, and you're going to go out and say, listen, Captain, you're done. I'm taking over for you. Challenging a bit. Maybe not so much. 3-2, runner goes. The pitch is fouled back.
Does anybody really want to be that guy that goes out there and replaces a legend? A living legend?
You know what, though?
It was interesting back when Cal Ripken came out of the game and A-Rod came in that All-Star game.
So that was pretty fitting.
That was a changing of the guard, that a lot of people thought.
Yeah. But with this one, every time that All-Star game comes around and people want to see Derek Jeter and what it was like when he played his last All-Star game, Alexi Ramirez is going to be the guy seen. So that's pretty good. Runner goes again. The 3-2 hit high and deep, but hooking foul down the left side. And this one well back. So we'll do it again at 3-2. That one didn't fool Flowers. And just now De Aza getting back to first base. Yeah, I was really glad to see Jose Altuve get an at bat and drive in a run. Proved to be a big run for the club.
Sure did.
Feldman brings the 3-2. Runner goes. Half swing. They appeal down to first, and no, he did not go through. So it'll be a walk. The 2-out single by De Aza. Now the 2-out walk to Flowers, and back to the top with a couple of runners aboard.
Pitch obviously up. I think the only question was what Castro was asking, did he go? And I do not think he did.
So the American way prevails here in the 5th. Adam Eaton, the leadoff man, led off the White Sox half of the first inning with a triple. Hit one to right center field. The Astros were playing in a shift with the center fielder Springer toward left field, and it just left a huge gap out there. Eaton was at third, trying to score on a fly ball by Alexi Ramirez, and was gunned down at the plate. Part of a double play, the first of 2 turned by Houston. And that defensively, no doubt the play of the game to this point behind Scott Feldman.
You can see now George Springer playing a little more typical center field, just to the left of that second base bag.
It's 2-1. If you play straight up, and the Astros are not straight up, the left fielder hose is toward the line. That leaves a big gap in left center field. But if you play straight up, you should be able to have your best chance to cut down on extra base hits. If you shift, you go by the percentages of what has been seen over the course of the year. There's a high strike. It's 2-2.
Adam's not happy about that one.
And when you're not happy, you need to take a walk away from home plate.
That ball up around the letters. It's around the top of the zone in the rule book.
That's the way it should be. No comment, huh?
I'm not a fan of the high strike
No?
call, man. Yeah, I couldn't hit it. I don't want to take it for a strike.
Ground ball is tap foul. Well, yeah, I don't know when and where the umpires decided I don't like the rule book strike zone and made their own. But clearly it hasn't adhered to the rule book for many decades. It's a 2-2 count. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Runners at first and second. Little cutter on the hands, got him looking. That's just the second strikeout on the night for Scott Feldman. It comes at a big time, and that does it for the White Sox in the 5th inning. They lead the pair. It's 2-0 Houston. Sportsnet is presented by Mako, America's Body Shop. Let us turn the car you drive back into the car you love. Mako, America's Body Shop. By 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. And by your local Acura dealer. The Windy City. And it's been gorgeous since the Astros came to town yesterday afternoon. A couple of nice days lined up to finish out this series. The White Sox go to their bullpen. It's Daniel Webb, the right-hander, coming in.
Making his 31st appearance. Got himself a solid ERA out of that White Sox bullpen, 3.12. That opponent batting average, left-handers, right-handers, pretty similar. Only allowed 2 home runs. High whip. Almost at 1.5, though. A lot of walks in those 40 and a third innings.
Now that's a borderline issue, I would imagine, with guys coming out of the pen. Do you like less that high on base percentage, the whip against a guy, or the fact, do you like that lack of home runs against a guy?
Well, thank goodness all those runners he's having on aren't scoring.
George Springer at the plate. George on the night has walked and grounded to short. Now looking for that first knock here in the second half. 2-0 the count. Well, not the kind of night that a very hot left-handed pitcher, Jose Quintana, anticipated coming in. He winds up lasting just 5 innings for Chicago. Ooh. It's a good swing from George, but just comes up empty. Quintana with 5 innings, 3 hits, and that's right in line with what he's been doing lately, not giving up many hits, but 2 runs, and they're, at least according to ESPN, listed as earned. I'm not sure on those numbers. 8 strikeouts. Three and 1. Great hitters count for Springer. Good fastball at 95. So what would you do to that home run derby to make it a little more to your liking?
Mix in some random exploding baseballs.
Okay.
That would make it interesting. Not sure. Maybe put I don't know. That's kind of a tough question right out of the chute. I know I'd cut down on the amount of pitches they take. If it's called a strike, I'd put an umpire back there. Start calling strikes on them or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. That sounds crazy.
If it's called a strike, it's an out.
But, you know, there's got to be something done. There's just too many pitches going by.
Big swing and a miss by Springer. He's down on strikes. First time for George tonight. But that's now 9 strikeouts of Houston hitters.
Maybe you could assign points to where the home runs go. You know, first level you get 1 point, second, third level you get a couple more. Center field obviously would be a high point percentage.
I kind of like that.
That way guys wouldn't just keyhole like you were saying. I mean, if you're trying to hit home runs, that middle, inner, third is where you want to do, because you want to yank it. It's easier to pull a home run.
What if you go Babe Ruth and point and you hit one there? Do you maybe get a 10 bagger?
Got to call your shot. If you call your shot, yeah, it's like a 3-point line. You get a little extra.
Nothing but net.
I don't know where to put the net.
I want to see Magic Johnson and Larry Bird compete in that home run derby.
I bet you a lot of people would pay a lot of money to watch those guys swing and miss.
Yeah, that'd be fun. For a while. White Sox have another right-hander throwing in their pen. Ronald Belisario. That fastball blown by at 96. So it's just getting harder here in the inning from Webb.
Guess he wasn't loose.
He's getting there.
Man, he is.
Up to 97 for the strikeout. Back-to-back punch-outs.
Time now for the AT&T Rewind. Going back to that second inning when Domingo led off with a base hit right here, finding a hole outside of Beckham's reach. Then Singleton jumped up, hit a bullet to right field. Misplayed by Viciedo, gets by him to the wall. Domingo scores easy, allowing Singleton to get to third base on that error, and of course scores easily on a great at-bat by Robbie Grossman, just hitting a nice easy ground ball to short.
Really glad to see Robbie be aggressive and pick up that run that's presented at third. Fastball is a strike on Dominguez.
Yeah, those at-bats really don't add up as far as the batting average, but as far as the psyche and the confidence, you know, you can chalk up a couple points in that area.
Yeah, I'm about also helping your club, and I'm big on.
And that's a positive at bat.
Yeah,
that goes in the right
absolutely.
direction for sure.
And I think you want to have guys that want to drive in runs.
That's a good thing to have.
And then cut down on the runs on the other side, and you got yourself something.
Saying there's a chance.
Little bender. It's 1-2 on Dominguez. Make that 2-2.
It says Daniel Webb averages a fastball around 95 miles an hour. He's got a slider. We saw a good one for that second strike here on Domingo. Then he's also got a changeup.
24 years of age. Went to Northwest Florida State. Pitch is hit pretty well to right field. Back goes Viciedo at the track, and just in front of the wall makes the catch. So Dominguez hits it the other way and stings it, but nothing to show for it. A 1-2-3 inning turned in by Webb.
The Astros with a 2-0 lead over the White Sox. Can you beat the best? Join millions of players now in the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world live in the multiplayer Derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Ash.
Thanks, Julia. 28,777 on hand here at USL. Not a bad crowd at all. They come out to see Blummer come back to town.
Appreciate that.
I think they're the ones that appreciate your appearance.
I work hard on it.
We know you do. Alexi Ramirez at the plate. Hits it sharply off the body of Feldman. Matt Dominguez spins and got him. Nice play by Matty D. And I don't know if Feldman deserves credit or sympathy, but they get the out.
get that big old body in the way of it. Right in the keister, hopefully. Hit that lower back, you might have some issues. Squared him up pretty good. He caught a lot of muscle, should be all right.
Nice job by Matt Dominguez not over rushing this play. Ramirez doesn't sprint down the line the way you might anticipate. The Astros getting a good peek to see if Scott Feldman is okay. Brent Strom, no doubt going to be the guy that says, I think he's fine. So 1 out, it doesn't come easy. Jose Abreu comes to the plate, and this will not be easy. Abreu has doubled and popped out to second.
So Adam Dunn hits a fly ball that hits the top of the wall twice for a double. Now Alexi Ramirez doesn't get a hit after ricocheting it off the backside of Scott Feldman. I'd say tonight things are really going the Astros way.
Well, this wasn't in your conversation about what you anticipated in the second half, though.
Yeah, this was not my scouting report.
And I thought you were going to thoroughly cover that, so we'll have to talk about it a bit more.
It's time to reap the benefits of a home field advantage presented by Coldwell Banker. So Jose Abreu's home runs here at U.S. Cellular Field. He's got 11 here at home, 18 on the road. This is a pretty good hitter's ballpark. But for whatever reason, he's taking a little more advantage of what the road has to offer. I'm just kind of curious. I know he's got incredible pop, and some of the home runs are going a great distance. But how about that one in center field, right up in that region? How far does that ball have to go to qualify not making the map?
I don't see the hedges up there, so we can determine exactly where that landed. 3-0 the count. The appeal comes back with palms down.
There's a restaurant or a bar of some kind out there in center field up on that patio.
There's a Vienna beef Chicago dog that's had my attention much of the night.
I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, you are. Ooh, there's a nice little cutter on the 3-0. Now you would assume the White Sox would let this big monster swing the bat. Leading with home runs, 29 in front of Nelson Cruz. Edwin Encarnacion has been injured for a while. And look out for Mike Trout. Just outside, so on the 3-1, Feldman misses. A 1-out walk brings up the cleanup man, Adam Dunn. Adam Dunn has launched a few himself. We're talking about the 40+ home run seasons that he's put up. I'm a bit surprised, by the way, on Jose Abreu that his on-base percentage is just at .345. I would have expected over the .400 mark.
That would be pretty impressive. 29 home runs, a .400 on-base percentage.
When a guy hits 29 bombs and has the kind of pop that he has, that's the guy that I would anticipate being pitched around. Good curveball in. He finally gets a strike on this one. 0-2 the count. There's that backdoor hook.
Yeah, he hasn't been getting that call all night. That might be the first time we've actually seen him get that outside corner. 6 different seasons for Adam Dunn that have seen him with 40+ home runs. We mentioned his last at bat, 454 lifetime homers. Got another guy on their bench with 400+ home runs also, in Paul Konerko.
You played with Dunn back in the World Series year 2005. He had 40 that year. Oh, let's see. Let me check that hit. That was with Cincinnati. My bad. But that started a string of 4 consecutive years with exactly 40 bombs. Pop up on the left side. How about this? Kike Hernandez comes from the other side of second base to make the play.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't be surprised to see Kike make that play, but ranging well to his right. You can see where he starts well on that second base side of the diamond. It's a tough position to put your third baseman in, chasing backwards like that, but Kike calls it off, takes command.
Nice job, and Kike has shown no signs of unwilling to make all the plays. Just back undone very quickly. 4 consecutive years that saw him hit exactly 40 home runs. Pretty impressive.
Hitting at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, where he was a lethal weapon.
Pitch is hammered left center field. Back at the wall. Springer running out of room, and it's out of here. A 2-out, 2-run home run by Viciedo, and the White Sox have caught him at 2.
Well, that kind of makes up for the miscue on the Singleton base hit that turned into a triple and a run. Scored. One swing of the bat off a mistake by Feldman, and Viciedo launches this one. Baseball will give you opportunities to redeem yourself, and that young man just took advantage of it.
Well, the White Sox are just 6 games under 500. And you know they're trying to wriggle their way back into a position where they could contend in their division. I don't know that the Tigers are going to allow that to happen. So just like that, a 2-out bomb. Home run number 12 for Viciedo.
And in this day and age, with 2 wild cards going to the playoffs, can't take any game for granted.
Gillespie at the plate, takes a strike.
It's going out and getting it right there. Home run estimated at 414 feet.
I think George Springer knew he was not going to get to this one pretty early on. Pitch is popped up on the left side. It's Matt Dominguez with the call. He'll put it away. That'll do it for the White Sox, but not before they launch that 2-out home run and tie things at 2.
White Sox, and here's a look at our upcoming schedule. It's presented to you by Progressive. We'll be here through the weekend in Chicago, finishing up with that Sunday day game before hopping on a flight going out to Oakland to play Oakland. We'll be staying in San Francisco, so that'll be a nice day off to enjoy the Bay Area before playing 3 against the AL West leading Oakland A's, before heading back home to face the Miami Marlins and that great power from Giancarlo Stanton.
You going to break out that scratch golf game?
I'm going to scratch after my golf game, yes.
John Singleton at the plate. He's the 6th hitter in the Houston order. He singled a big one in the 2nd inning, and it led to a couple of runs thanks to an error by Viciedo in right field. He is also struck out. The Astros have struck out 10 times tonight. We're just in the 7th.
Plenty of game left.
Well, that's the way to be the optimist. 28,777 on hand. That pitch just a bit shy of getting to the plate. It's 2-2.
Good take.
Yeah. Actually, I've been known to swing at that. You get the bat started a little early, and it's just pure humiliation.
Well, baseball doesn't do that to anybody.
You ever offer on that thing?
Yeah. I remember I swung at a Kerry Wood slider that hit me in my back foot. And it was on a 3rd strike, and it goes to the backstop, and I'm walking back to the dugout, and Jimmy Williams comes flying out of the dugout, arguing with the umpire, and I'm like, Jimmy, man, get back in the dugout. You're going to make this worse than it is. I go, it hit me.
Going to make them break out the replays.
Yeah.
Here's a drive left field. Going back on the move, De Aza, and he'll make the catch. Nice play defensively on the warning track. Out number 1 here in the 7th. I remember swinging at that breaking ball, that slider in particular, that would bounce in front of the plate, coming kind of toward my legs, and I would always imagine that I could hear my kids hollering, what are you doing, boo?
Your own kids, that bad.
Well,
huh?
that's kind of the way I sized the whole thing up. It was that bad. Robbie Grossman at the plate has grounded out, driving in a run in the 2nd inning. For Robbie, his 14th ribby. He has also been caught looking.
Tell you what, Astro hitters better get it ready against Webb.
Got some Gase.
Consistent.
Played with Buddy Bell, and he'd always call the gas the Gase. I always thought that was kind of classic.
Gas, petrol, various forms. The cheese.
Who's the funniest guy?
Cheese.
Who's the funniest teammate you've ever played with?
Me.
You? Okay.
No.
Well, if a man can't appreciate his own humor, then
kidding.
something's wrong. There's that swing on the breaking ball in the dirt. Grossman down on strikes. They'll record the out at first base, the 2nd out of the inning. And strikeout number 11.
Come out to Minute Maid Park August 1st through the 3rd to celebrate Legends Weekend as the Astros host the Toronto Blue Jays in a 3-game series. On Sunday, August 3rd, 10,000 fans will receive a Roy Oswalt bobblehead. For tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Did you play with Casey Candale?
No, but his stories are legendary. He had some pretty good ones.
Of course, in some cases, it's not about saying funny things. It's
he had
being
some
zany.
antics.
Yeah.
J.J. Putz is probably one of the guys that tried to pull off the most pranks, I guess.
Yeah.
He wasn't, Brad Ausmus, I thought, was one of the wittiest as far as verbal and some of the banter that would go on in the clubhouse and in game. But J.J. Putz was really the only guy that I played with that would do the pranks and things like that. I saw the other day, Adrian Gonzalez was doing a hot foot to somebody. I can't remember who it was, but I caught the picture.
I think they got somebody good. Here's a drive right center field, long run Viciedo. He'll get there and make the catch. Kike Hernandez has flied out, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 top of the 7th inning for Houston. We're tied at 2. Dallas Keuchel starts the second half with a Chi-Town showdown against Jose Abreu and the hard-hitting White Sox. Pre-game live starts at 5:30 tomorrow evening on Comcast Sportsnet.
66 games left, including this one tonight. We'll look ahead and see what that involves. 30 of those are going to be against the AL West, and if you look towards the very bottom, 23 of those are going to be against Oakland, Seattle, and the Los Angeles Angels, who are trying to acquire, I guess, currently Houston Street from the San Diego Padres to shore up that bullpen. You can see 27 more games against teams that are above 500. 32 more games at home for Houston Astros fans. Check out some of these young kids who are trying to make a push and turn things around here in Houston.
Scott Feldman works it into the 7th inning. 89 pitches. That's number 90. As he gets in front. 7-hitter Gordon Beckham at the plate. He's grounded into a double play and then hit a little dribbler in front of the plate. Jason Castro picked it up and threw him out. 0 for 2 on the night. Breaking ball hit foul to the seats down the left field side.
That's another good thing about hitting here at U.S. Cellular. There's really not that much foul territory. It's pretty fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this one of the ballparks where the seats just seems like it's encroaching or they're encroaching on the field, but it's not way back by any stretch of the imagination. It is a well-designed baseball ballpark.
Definite contrast to the North Side ballpark here in Chicago.
Now, Lance Berkman was well known for not loving Wrigley Field. Do you want to add any thoughts to the commentary on Wrigley?
I enjoyed playing there. I enjoyed beating up on the Cubs when I played there. I did not enjoy playing defense whatsoever at that ballpark. I felt the infield cut on the infield for me was weird. I played when it was still crowned, so losing Craig Biggio on a couple of pop-ups that he had to go back on was interesting. And,
that back, the curve of the dirt meeting grass on the back of the infield. Ground ball to third base. Matt Dominguez with the play, and out number 1 here in the 7th. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
But also the infield grass, it was cut level somehow, but underneath the grass, it seemed that there were boulders and clumps of grass. It felt like your ankles could go out at any second running across that infield.
Wow.
Yeah, but they've leveled it out. They joined the new millennium and flattened the field and got new irrigation in it. And it was actually rather pleasant after that.
Oh, I thought that crown at the back of the infield was not only unsightly, but just hideous for the ball players.
You go out there for a relay as a middle infielder and you catch a relay, you turn towards home plate, you would see the waist up of the catcher, and your first instinct was you're throwing uphill and you'd fire one to the backstop. It was incredible.
The Astros used to have a pitching coach that would have the guys throw behind the back of the mound during their throwing sessions for some period of time. So they would step from flat ground up that hill on the back of the mound to deliver the pitch. It forced them to bend the backs and really deliver downward toward home plate. That's what it probably would have felt like to me, stepping in that crown at the back of the infield.
But in the panic of a game, the last thing I want to turn around is not be able to pick up the entire home plate area.
Les Moss was the pitching coach and one of the great favorites of Nolan Ryan and so many of the others on that club. You wind up with coaches through the years, and a lot of times you lose track. Where did they go? What are they doing now? And he was one of those guys, and he has passed away, but universally loved by the players.
Yeah, that's one thing baseball will do. It'll introduce you to a lot of people.
And the thing is, Les didn't do a whole lot of talking with most of the guys. He just growled at you. But it was an endearing growl.
That's tough to do.
He's good at it. How do those fingernails survive? It's 162 games. I wonder if he does that during the offseason. It's a 2-2 count.
Some guys dip, some guys chew gum, some guys chew on sunflower seeds. Others annihilate their fingertips.
You know, if Colin McHugh did this, if you caught him biting the nails all the time, you would say, okay, there's your problem. But it's Jose Altuve, and he's ready to go every day.
It's a secret to hitting right there.
Must be. 2-2 from Feldman. Breaking ball lined up and over Altuve into right field. It's a one-out hit picked up by De Aza. It brings up the catcher Tyler Flowers. Hit number 6 for the White Sox.
Good job of De Aza staying on that breaking ball. Soft liner over the head of Altuve. Bit of a top hand lob.
Jimmy Connors hit that thing?
Yeah, he did.
Maybe John McEnroe.
Bjorn Borg.
Yeah, they was right-handed though. Oh, well, I guess on the backhand side they all look the same though, don't they?
Yeah, you get that extension with the bottom hand.
Runner goes from first. The pitch is low. The throw down on a hop and not in time. Stolen base, De Aza. And now the White Sox, with one out, have a man in scoring position. For De Aza, stolen base number 13. He's been caught 6 times. It's a 1-0 count on the catcher Flowers. The Astros picked up their 2 runs in the 2nd inning. The White Sox got their 2 with 2 outs in the 6th inning. The cutter is fouled off the right side. A ball and a strike. Flowers with 5 dingers on the year. He's in his 80th game of the year. He has struck out with 1 strikeout tonight, right at 103 times this year.
Awesome.
So again, in 80 games, not quite 80 games.
It's incredible.
Pretty good pace. George Springer leads the American League at 112 coming into play. He's added 1 to that. Chris Davis, Tyler Flowers right behind. Yeah, we're well represented here in Chicago tonight. Right behind Flowers, who is the White Sox catcher. Number 4 is Adam Dunn. Number 5 is Chris Carter. Number 8 is Jason Castro. So you talk strikeouts. If that's your game, you need to be right here. A spin move, or at least a partial version of it by Feldman.
I need Elias to look up the last time the spin move worked.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. You don't have to have an infielder at the back. It can be just one of these plays where you think the guy might go from second base, and so you spin at least some portion of a spin. Initially, you had to step in that direction. Guys don't even land that front foot sometimes on the backside of the rubber.
The interpretation has definitely changed on that.
There was the look to third, throw to first, or look to first play that went for a long time and picked a lot of guys off because they were running early. But finally, baseball got rid of that one. I think they ought to do the same with this one. I think if you step off, you can do anything you want. Take a look, go ahead and throw. Line shot to the gap in left center field. This will play to run. It goes to the wall. Flowers has himself an RBI 2-bagger, and the White Sox have themselves a 3-2 lead.
It was a pretty good at bat by Flowers. Played off some tough pitches on the outside corner, a couple of cutters off the plate. Worked himself into a good count. Got himself a sinker down and in, coming right back to the barrel of his bat, and he was ready for it and dropped the head.
That ball was flat raked to the gap. Still 1 out. Top of the order, Adam Eaton at the plate. Tripled in the first and did not score. Thrown out by Robbie Grossman. A reviewed play, and the call came back inconclusive, so the out call at the plate stood. Little tapper out to the mound. Feldman checks his runner at second and gets the out at first. Second out in the inning. It brings up the shortstop, Alexei Ramirez.
Well, I mean, doing Scott Feldman a favor right there. Swing at the first pitch. Easy out. 2 outs, runner in scoring position.
It was Alexei Ramirez hitting that fly ball to Robbie Grossman that started the double play. That came in the first inning. And Ramirez, the all-star for the White Sox, 0 for 3 on his night. (3-2) White Sox. One and 0 the count. 107 pitches now for Scott Feldman. No doubt in his final inning of work. There's that little slider off the edge. 2-0. Josh Fields getting loose in the Astros pen in right field.
I believe Darren Downs, the left-hander, also out there throwing, and not sure you want to fall behind 2-0 to Alexei Ramirez with Abreu sitting on deck.
Pitch is hammered left field. Ho's going back. He's at the track, at the wall, and hauls it in. So Ramirez gives it a ride, but that'll do it for the White Sox in the 7th inning. Scott Feldman touched up for a run, and the White Sox lead it.
Park next Saturday, July 26th, as the Astros face the Miami Marlins at 6:10. Afterwards, stick around for a post-game concert by Jason Derulo included with your ticket. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com. Astros second baseman Jose Altuve got some rest this All-Star break despite being in the All-Star game, which he absolutely enjoyed. He got a plate appearance in the bottom of the 5th. Got a sacrifice fly there, extending the AL lead to 5-3 there. Just a fabulous weekend for him as he got to mingle with some of his favorite players and his closest friends, including Miguel Cabrera. And then, of course, seeing Derek Jeter up close, getting that standing ovation in the first at-bat. Altuve said that's the moment that will stick with him forever. And he tried to get pictures with as many players as he can. This guy just loves the game, and he loves the players around him.
Thanks, Julian. And he got a nice pick from Jose Abreu. That was a very impressive play.
How about the sac fly scored Alexei Ramirez,
that was great stuff.
Some White Sox Astro connection there.
Yeah, I think some people probably still think of Jose Altuve as You know, that small novelty guy, but he's not. He is a genuine all-star. Had a great first half. The Astros now trail it 3-2. LJ Hose leads off in the 8th inning. He'll be followed by Altuve and Castro. Ronald Belisario comes in from that White Sox pen.
So Ronald may have lost that save role for the Chicago White Sox. ERA at 5.16. Blown 4 saves.
He has 8 saves presently. That leads among those still on this roster for the White Sox. Pretty good sinker, but maybe below the knees for LJ. 1-2 the count. LJ hitting just .177. 0 for 2 on the night. A strikeout and a groundout. We've mentioned the White Sox well represented by Cuba. Belisario's out of Venezuela. 31 years of age. Fastball grounded back to the mound. Nice defense by the right-hander. And he gets the first out of the inning.
Like a cat. A little bit easier when that ball's hit to your glove side to react, too.
Yep.
Thankfully.
You can hear that sound. Bat and glove just not even a half a beat apart. 1 out, back to the top. Jose Altuve's 1 for 3. But when he has not gotten a hit, he struck out a couple of times tonight. Oh, that's well spotted. Any hitter would be a fool to swing at that for a first strike. Belisario came up with the Dodgers in 2009. Impressive sinker. And hard at 97. Belisario with 12 career saves. And a lifetime ERA over 5 seasons at 3.57. And Altuve caught for a 3rd time tonight. Maybe guessing slider.
3 straight pitches. When was the last time you saw Altuve take 3 straight pitches ever, let alone 3 straight fastballs to punch out on? That was weird.
Extremely rare. 12 strikeouts of Houston hitters.
How many times has he had the hat trick?
Well, I would take my stab at 2 this year.
Today being the second one.
Today being the second. And I have no. Other than having just watched every day, I'm like you. I can't imagine.
It's bizarre.
Maybe one other time.
I'm going to go down and give him a hug after the game.
Are you?
Welcome to the club.
You know how much that's appreciated after a rough night.
Does wonders.
A lot of guys will tear your head off if you go in and have something to say. Not Jose, though. Genuine good guy. Jason Castro is 0 for 3. He has struck out once. And again, 12 punch outs for the Astros hitters. So if you were looking for how many times has Jose Altuve struck out 3 times this year, this would be number 1.
There you go.
He's had 3 games where he struck out twice. And not that many games where he struck out once.
Amazing stuff.
First time for 3 punch outs. 2-2 the count.
Only 29 strikeouts on the season, so now 32 for Jose Altuve. 23 walks.
The grinder that Altuve is, don't you just know he's kicking himself hard right about now. Castro with that count at 2-2. Who was the #1 junkyard dog you played with?
I played with a guy named Josh Bard that absolutely abused the batting cage when I was in San Diego, and Hunter Pence was the other guy that he was just cage rat. Couldn't get him out of there. He'd be hitting 340. He'd be in the cage just as often as if he was hitting 240.
Again, fouling it off is Castro. 2-2.
Didn't feel like those guys ever took at bats off.
I felt then and still feel that hitters can overdo it with the amount of swings they take and just kind of wear themselves down. But I mean, if you're having a heck of a season, nobody's going to argue. Pitch hit in the air, shallow into right field. Going out is Beckham. He's calling and makes the catch. That'll do it. The Astros go down 1-2-3 in the 8th inning as they trail 3-2.
Three to 2, we go to the bottom of the 8th. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game, and tonight, let's see what it is. It's H-Town Ball, tweeting out some diehard Astros fans. Make sure to tweet your photo using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. We also asked you a Twitter question, and you responded. What are you looking forward to the most in the second half of the year? Here's what you had to say. JD White Mamba, watching Altuve continue his all-star season and watching Springer and Singleton take the next step. Also, our Cunningham 60 says, ready for Springer dingers, Keuchel K's, Singleton slams, Jose hits, jacks from Jason, and proving the naysayers wrong. Wow, that's creative. Love it. Thanks for your tweets, guys.
And thanks, Julia. You know, and I think about a player taking the next step. At what point is that step taken? I thought we looked at it with George Springer back when, well, probably 2 months ago when the Astros went through Seattle and on to Kansas City, and Springer had that 4-hit game. He hit a couple of balls in Kansas City off the walls. He hit one that he launched out of the ballpark. Had 4 hits on the night. I thought he had taken that step, but sometimes that step comes backward. Josh Fields on. 2 of 5 in save opportunities. Of course, this is not one of those. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jose Abreu at the plate. On a relatively quiet night for Abreu. He is doubled, popped out, and walked, and scored following the walk in the 6th inning. That was the first of the 2 runs by the White Sox. It came on a 2-out home run by Dayan Viciedo. And down on strikes is Abreu. So Josh Fields, who has been having great success, comes on and gets the strikeout.
Time for the Mako big hit of the game, and it was off of Adam Dunn's bat. Going the other way, looking for a chance at a home run. I'm sure he probably thought he got it, but that first high hop off the top of the wall ended up in a second hop off the wall and staying inside the ballpark here at U.S. Cellular. Just when you thought you've seen it all, you're going to see something new.
Fields with that little cutting fastball sailing up and in. 1-0 the count. Josh Fields has had great success, as we talk about. He's had an ERA of 0.87 since being recalled from AAA. 33 strikeouts in 18 outings in that span. Just 12 hits and 4 walks. He has been extremely tough on the hitters and strikes out the first man he sees tonight. There's a good changeup, and it's called a ball.
Real good changeup. So good it locked everybody up. Maybe below the knees on Adam Dunn.
Maybe, but that's an outstanding pitch. Which is lined into right field on a hop. Altuve. He'll wait for Singleton and throw, just getting Adam Dunn. Altuve waited as long as he felt was necessary, and it was almost too much.
Well, he had to wait with the shift on. Singleton playing deep. Singleton actually, I think, may have offered at that line drive off of Dunn's bat.
You get some challenges with the shifts on.
See, he offers at it, and then he realizes that Altuve is playing directly behind him. He's got to sprint back to that bag and can't throw it to a ghost over there. You got to wait for the guy to get over there and cover it. That's a tough play for Singleton.
It might have been well served to have Singleton stretch toward Altuve a bit. 2 outs. It brings up the man with the 2-run home run, Dayan Viciedo. And again, that came in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 2 on his night. As we head to the top of the 9th inning, the Astros need to get something done. They have the 3, 4, 5 spots coming up. Springer, Carter, and Matt Dominguez.
Those are the right guys to have up, but we have not heard anything out of the Astros offense since that 2nd inning.
It has been devastatingly quiet. 3 hits on the night for Houston. Talk about taking steps, whether it's individually or as a club. There was a period of time while the Astros were winning a bunch of games where I thought the offense had taken that big step forward.
No, that was a huge push. They were playing extremely well, firing on all cylinders, getting on base. Balls were flying out of the ballpark. Runs were crossing the plate. They were picking up their pitchers who were pitching extremely well at the time, too.
1-2 the count.
But a lot of times you're going to find with young ball clubs, as good as they can be, it's just being consistent at it. And that's the biggest thing at the major league level for me, is finding those guys that can be consistent.
Well, even the best of clubs are going to have their spells where they're bad offensively or pitching wise, whatever the case may be.
Well, the really good teams and the successful teams don't have too many valleys during a season.
But offensively, how many guys in the 9-man order do you feel you need to have clicking to be able to feel like you're going to go out and win a ball game? Because you're not going to have 9 guys hot at the same time.
To be extremely confident, 6. I mean, I'm not
6 guys.
I'm not going to walk on 2 guys. I mean, there are guys out there that can carry a ball club, but you got to count on your pitcher to shut down the other team.
Fastball blows him away. Down on strikes is Viciedo. A 1-2-3 frame. A couple of punch outs for Fields. We go to the 9th. 3-2. White Sox lead it.
3-2. Astros, Dynamo, Rockets, and more. We've got all your Houston sports news covered with Sportsnet Central, weeknights at 6, 10, and midnight, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
27-year-old right-hander Zach Putnam comes to the hill, and he's been good. Working in his 31st game, ERA at .250. He has been given the assignment to shut this down as he has one save on the year.
He's given up 2 home runs. Right-handed hitters having a tough time with them. 36 innings, 29 Ks. Great ERA, 1 save out of 2 opportunities. Not a flamethrower by any means from what we've seen early out of this bullpen from the Chicago White Sox, where everybody's throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. Zach's going to fire it up there around 90 miles an hour. He's got a slider just under that velocity, around 87. And I would imagine a pretty good split finger also.
As we talked about with the White Sox, it's not like they've got a bunch of guys picking up a load of saves. And Putnam with just 1 now, given the chance to close this game down. George Springer trying to get that big swing that connects. For George on the night, he has walked, grounded out, and struck out. White Sox with just 19 saves on their season. That ranks 13th in the American League. Ball and a strike. Just inside, it's 2-1 on Springer. Looking for that 20th home run on the year. Right at 50 RBIs. Two and two. But keep in mind, the All-Star game, the All-Star break, does not split the season. It splits it very unevenly. Just 66 games counting tonight for the Astros. As the Astros close out this series, they will be at 99 games played. And now 3-2. And Putnam can't afford to give the leadoff walk to a guy that runs very well.
Well, he runs well, and you put the winning run at home plate.
With some guys that can launch.
Exactly.
3-2, got him. Breaking ball on that 3-2. Down to 85 miles an hour.
I think that might be that split finger. Kind of neutralizes right-handed hitters. He's got kind of a funky delivery out of that 3/4 arm slot.
"13 Astros strikeouts, and the second for Springer. Again, we mentioned Springer is the league leader, most strikeouts for a hitter. Chris Carter pursues closely. For Carter on the night, 0 for 3 and 3 strikeouts. Trying to get himself a big swing. It looks like when Putnam falls behind, there's no guarantee that you're going to get the heat.
He's got a lot of confidence in that split finger. When you got guys in fastball counts looking for the fastball, and you can snap that off, you're going to get some swing and misses.
There's the splitter at 88. Not a whole lot of action, but well placed. And now 2 strikes on Carter. Little cutter, slider?
Yeah, that cutter slider. Yeah, this fastball sinks in there about 89, 90 miles an hour. But according to some of the reports that I've been reading, that slider he throws it pretty hard, around 87, 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt on the below 90s strike that he threw. There's the splitter. Did the bat go? Yes, it did. The first base umpire, Brian O'Nora, says the bat went through, and that's 2 down on punch-outs. Houston Astros baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Whataburger. Get your day started at Whataburger with the cheddar jalapeno biscuit. Down to an out. Matt Dominguez comes to the plate. If Dominguez should reach, it would bring up John Singleton. Maybe Matty D going to the plate, trying to find a way to coax a walk. 2-0 the count. Zach Putnam on the hill. Little cutter off the fastball at 89.
You really don't know what you're going to get from Zach.
It's a small break on that pitch, but
if you can locate 3 pitches, that's how he's so effective, throwing under 90 miles an hour.
You couldn't call that a 4-seamer or a 2-seamer for that matter. Pitch is grounded to third. 2 hops. Throw across, and they did it. Gillespie to Abreu. Putnam comes on, gets the save. The White Sox win the first game here in the second half as the Astros fall to Chicago. 3-2 the final here this evening. It was a fairly well pitched ball game, but it got away from Scott Feldman.